Hey everybody, it's Reggie here and Anna from Traject Social. We're super excited for this month's office hours. We see that there's already a couple of you joining here, so we're going to hang tight as we usually do in the beginning, just to make sure that we let people take some time to jump in, work out any kinks in their headphones or their speakers. So we'll hang tight for a couple of minutes, but it's awesome to see you guys here again. We've got some, obviously some great stuff to share here with you guys, and it's got some awesome marketing strategies, and I'm really excited for the Q&As. I think that's probably like one of my favorite parts of this call every month is just kind of hearing from you guys, where you're at with both your strategy and just in general, and seeing if there's anything else that we could be doing to help you guys out. So we'll sit tight here for a bit, and then hopefully once we get a couple more people join, we can get started.
All right, I've got a question for you guys. We'll also use this as a test to make sure you guys can hear me. That the chat feature is working, that I'm not having any Comcast disasters like last office hours. Chime in if you would like to. How do you guys feel about during the Q&A section when we mention who asked the questions, we kind of call you guys out by name, especially we tend to do that because we start recognizing some of you guys that are always here with us and always having conversations with us. Does that work for you guys and help you guys kind of grab your attention when we're talking about your issue? Or should we keep the Q&A anonymous?
I see a yes, but I don't know which yes that's for. Is it for like
so many subtopics and sub questions into that I should have been more clear. No, I don't know what the yes is.
That's all good. Yeah, just vote if you want it anonymous or if you want it public. I think if you just type that in, might make it a little bit more clear for us. Okay, cool. We got a couple of people talk about it.
Cool.
Hey, Gavin. We have Gavin here. How's it going? You guys should all know Gavin, I think, at this point. If you don't, he is awesome. You should be getting some emails from Gavin every once in a while.
That's true. He's got a lot of great stuff to send you guys. Gavin works on my team.
Yeah, I should probably have clarified, right? Gavin's part of the Traject Social team.
Yeah, it's just Reggie's best friend. He's calling out. No, he works with us at Traject. Okay, it kind of looks like people are slowing down with filtering in. So for anybody new, I guess we'll do a couple intros and then I'll let Reggie start off. So I'm Anna Devendorf. I'm the marketing manager at Traject. So usually when we host these office hours, after all the product updates are done, I'll talk about something either uses the tool or just social media marketing in general, and kind of talk through some strategy best practices from a marketing perspective that you guys can leverage. And then Reggie will, he always kicks us off, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, so I'm Reggie. I'm the product manager for Traject Social. So we usually start these calls by just giving you guys some updates on what's been going on, things that are coming up. And I think today, what's special about today too is we also want to make sure that we're giving you guys an understanding of where you can go to find these things, right? I mean, obviously, we love talking to you guys on the first Tuesday every month, but during the months, as we're making updates, we want to make sure that we're giving you guys insights of where you can find these updates. And so, yeah, for those of you who are new, welcome. We love to just chat every single month here at the end of today's session after Anna goes through some marketing strategies that she likes to bring here as well. We like to bring up a Q&A. So if you see that Q&A section there in GoToMeeting, just type in your questions. We'll make sure to get to those. Every once in a while, if we have some time, I'll actually go in and type in the response before we get to the end. So yeah, we can go ahead and get started. The first slide here that I have for you guys is kind of just going back to what I said, right? We want to make sure that you guys are aware of where you can find these updates. We do try to bring them up every first Tuesday of the month on our office hours, but if you are familiar with that little widget, so I'm going to talk about the right-hand corner first. Let me switch to the pointer. So this here, right, if you're in your dashboard, you should see a little Traject social icon on the bottom right-hand corner of your dashboard. And when you bring that up, anytime there's recent updates to the platform, you'll actually see a little number counter next to it. So you'll see that under the recent updates. And that'll give you access to the full list, right? If we're making changes to the calendar, we've got a new update with Canva, any of these small things, or even the larger things, you'll be able to get those easily using that icon on your dashboard. Now, for those of you who are familiar with our Help Center as well, support.trajectsocial.com, you'll see an actual section there called Traject Social Updates, and that's going to be on the main page when you get to our support center, and you're going to see something very similar to this down here. It's going to be listed by date. You'll see the newest things at the top, and it'll tell you whether it's an improvement, whether it's a new feature, whether it's an update for an API or a social network that's making some changes that we want to make sure you guys are aware of. So we just want to make sure that you guys are aware. These are the areas that you'll want to go to for product updates. I know Anna's got another one that she wants to talk about. And Anna, do you want to do that now, or do you want to wait until after I talk about some of the API updates? It had to do with the blog. I'm not sure.
Let's do that now. We'll mix things up a little bit. Let's do it. Okay, I'm changing to me.
There you go.
Okay. We send out an email newsletter every 2 weeks on Tuesday. Today was a newsletter day, if you got that. When you become a new customer, you do get filtered into this list. If you think at any point way in the past you may have unsubscribed to it, back, if it was, the list was used for different things, months or years ago, depending how long you've used the tool, you may want to subscribe to that again. So I was just going to take you guys through showing us where this is. If you want to click this link, and this just brings you to the blog on our website, and you scroll all the way to the bottom of these more recent featured posts. There's a form right there. So that'll get you on that list. These newsletters are mostly recent blogs and some kind of content information, but if anything is going on with the tool that you guys need to know about, we'll put it in there, and then I'll also usually include any pieces of content that will help you either learn how to use it or the strategy around it. And then the other thing I included on that slide was just in-app messaging. That is where we also deliver a lot of things going on, but that's an easy one. You don't need to do anything for that. Those are those things you can't miss them. Like, you're logging in, you're about to start using Traject Social, and something pops up that you have to, you read it, you say, okay, and X out if that's in-app messaging. So if anything really important is going on, that's there as well. I would really love to hear from you guys, and maybe we can kick off the Q&A section with this later. For people who are kind of coming to us saying, there's this change in the tool, or, a major thing that disrupted what I was doing and I didn't know about it. This is my entire job, is letting you guys know about this stuff. So I'd really love to know where you guys are getting, like, if you're already on email lists, like where you're getting your information, or any sort of problems you guys are having, that so we can find the right way to connect with you guys and make sure you update on that.
Yeah, definitely. We want to make sure that you guys are getting information as quickly as possible when there are updates. And we're going to talk about an update here in just a sec, but these are kind of some of those updates we want to make sure that you guys are getting, whether it's in your email inbox or you're familiar with areas to get them, both in the product when you're logging into Traject Social dashboard or in our help center, right? We want to make sure we're hitting all of these. So if there is some sort of disconnect where you're not getting them in your inbox, or you're not seeing the notifications we're sending through the dashboard, definitely let us know. We want to make sure you guys are aware of updates and changes as they come. So I'll go back a slide, and then we can jump into a recent update here. I want to make sure that you guys are aware. So this is really just for those of you who still are using Instagram personal profiles. If you're not currently aware, Instagram and Facebook did make an API change basically about a month or so ago. And so the gist of it is, if you're using an Instagram personal profile, this basically reduces your reason to continue using a personal profile. If you're operating as a business, as a brand, if you're really trying to be online right now, you want to convert to a business profile. This API change on Facebook is pretty much just going to change things like the ability for any third-party tools like ours to get any analytics, any sort of reporting. It's just really meant to kind of enhance their privacy outlook on personal profiles being meant for people who are trying to share, their posts with their family members. It's private, it's personal. And so for that reason, we just want to make sure that you guys are aware of this change. If you're still looking for analytics, comment moderation, that sort of stuff, please make sure that you're converting to a business profile if you haven't already. Right, I think those are the updates on my end. I did also just want to quickly add here as well. I know that we talked about last call, the Canva updates. I know a ton of you guys were super excited when we launched those. We're seeing numbers come in of how many of you are using that consistently week over week. And I promise we have not forgotten about you white labelers. We're working on that, I promise you. Hopefully by our next session, I should be able to give you guys a little bit more updates, but we're working diligently to be able to provide the Canva button integration for white label users. So stay updated. Like Anna said, make sure you sign up for the email newsletter if you're not on that already. We'll make sure to get those updates to you as soon as that's available.
All right, I'm going to switch over. And for our social media marketing section, we're going to be talking about live streaming, live video, all that kind of thing. So a lot of people think of these live videos, these live streams as kind of more of a fleeting temporary thing. But there's a lot of ways that you can use social media marketing to not make that and use promotions ahead of time to really make your live stream make a splash. And then there's social media tactics you can use during it to really complement what you're doing. And then ways after that you can turn around. You can kind of flip it. Instead of using social media to promote your live stream, use the live stream as fodder for your continuing social posts. So some people, may be a little bit stuck on ideas of how they can convert their content, what they do for their business, into live streaming. So that's kind of step one, is figuring out what aligns with your business and what people would really, what it would be helpful for them to know about. So these are some ideas. You can create a digital offering that aligns with your business's current offering. You've probably been hearing a lot about this lately in marketing content. This is the big thing with COVID going on with a lot of businesses that have to reduce foot traffic. If they're a yoga studio, they're doing, they're streaming classes, teaching people things that have to do with the products that they sell. DIY videos, how to color your hair at home, all that sort of thing. That's what would constitute as a digital offering or version of your business's offerings. You can do webinars. We love webinars at Traject. We usually do them in the form of an expert panel. So you can reach out to people in your industry, people that have a really large social following, and get them on board. And then they'll help promote it to their followers. They can be tweeting about it, they can be posting about it on Facebook, and kind of add that clout to your live stream if you have them attend. A really low effort poll one we've also done is an AMA. So using social media to get questions either ahead of time, using social media and a hashtag to get questions filing in during the AMA, and then it's low preparation, and you can kind of just be having people ask what they want to know about your industry, your business, your products, anything like that. And you can also always do a behind the scenes look at a process or your office, especially if you're an expert that has a really good process for something. One of my favorite videos, I write a lot of blogs, and it's a video of the entire 4-hour process of doing the keyword research, expanding those out into headers and questions to have the perfect blog that has the best chance of ranking. If you know how to do something like that, that's a great option as well. So I don't want to get too into the nitty-gritty of the differences between platforms. We actually just wrote a blog on this that really dives into it. It'd be really helpful if people are interested. It's on our blog where we just showed you guys how to get there, but I'll also link it in the recap for this office hours. But just a few high-level key differences so that you can pick the one that you want. Twitter uses Periscope, but we all know the nature of Twitter is very fast. Things don't have a long shelf life. So you maybe want to include something in the first few moments of it that are a little bit more exciting and attention grabbing before you settle into the stream. And you can also use hashtags or use any of the panelists or experts or people that are attending on screen of your live stream. Create a hashtag a few days in advance and have them use that. LinkedIn, some people are surprised because they haven't really heard about LinkedIn live streaming. Not everyone has it or is allowed to have it. If you're a business, you can go to LinkedIn's website and fill out an application. And they're really favoring longer content, at least 10 minutes, if you're going to use that one. And Facebook is kind of similar to LinkedIn in that way that they want the longer content. For Instagram, if you're going to be hosting on Instagram, there's definitely an expectation of your followers for it to be a two-way conversation. You know, they have the chat feature there where they can have the stream of all their comments and questions. They have all the reacts, the emoji reacts. So they really kind of expect the host to be seeing that and watching that stuff and kind of having that conversation with them. And there's also a question sticker in Instagram that you can use to get questions ahead of time for a panel, or if you're doing an AMA, or questions during. And then YouTube, the interesting thing about YouTube is that you can schedule them to begin. And there's also a little bit more room there directly with the video to add links to different content or drive traffic to your website. So kind of going back to this, people thinking of it as fleeting and not really giving you a lot of meat for follow-up or for tracking. In my opinion, I don't really think that's true. I think there's a lot you can do there if you set your goals and then kind of brainstorm ways that you're going to track and see if you accomplish those goals. So I wrote here, there's still ways to do everything you would normally do. All these things that you can track before, during, and after a live stream with your social media promotion. So one way that you can do this, these are just a couple ideas, is to offer an exclusive offer or coupon directly in the live stream. So if people use that, they were watching your live stream. And it's even a great way to measure how much attendance you've had if you place it at the end or deeper into the live stream. One really great way is to offer a mechanism that allows people to say, I want you to send me a reminder the day of or an hour before this live stream is about to start. And then you're generating an email list as well. So you would do that with a landing page, and then all the UTMs, the specialized URLs that you would use for that landing page, and all of your social media posts, you'll be able to attribute that to the social channels in your social media promotion. It also really helps to always come up with a really simple but unique hashtag, and you can measure the rate of the hashtag use during your live stream. And website traffic and engagement with your permutation content. So it's a little bit of a weird phrase that we might not be familiar with. So what that means is the various permutations from your live stream video that you're going to repurpose into different types of content after. And we'll go through a list of a lot of ideas of ways you can do that as well and really get the most mileage out of doing a live stream. So it's not just this thing that works for those 10 minutes and then it's gone. So whichever methods you choose for measuring, whichever one's aligned with your goals, that's going to inform what you post on social media and how you do your social media promotion. So if you're trying to find a way to get a list of attendees ahead of time without using webinar platform, so you're going to use the idea of gathering those people who want an alert ahead of time. So that your social posts are primarily going to consist of posts to that page with the UTM offering up that reminder. So ahead of the live stream, to promote, a couple ways that you can get a lot of increased engagement with this is get an influencer involved, get an industry expert involved, have them be guests. If you aren't able to nail someone down to the commitment of being a guest or a panelist, having them use the hashtag, having them respond to an insight from the live stream, tag your live stream, say that they're watching it, anything like that can really drive a lot of traffic and a lot of engagement towards your live stream on that social media channel. You also can encourage people to set a tweet alert to your tweets on that specific social media channel, or a post alert on other channels, which, you know, people may keep on if you continue serving out the content that they really like getting that alert for. So for your promotion in that case, you'd encourage people to do that, and you would probably show them where to do it. So you may say, you know, on Twitter, click on our profile. You might include a little picture of an arrow of your profile with how they can turn that alert on, and that way they won't miss when you start your live stream, and they won't miss any information they need about it. Then you can also offer landing page. We kind of talked about this one already, and then promote that landing page, link it on all of your social channels. In Traject Social, you know, you can replace the image, and you can create these images in Canva, pull them from your media library to overlay with that link. You know, if you want to create a graphic for this that's really flashy, if you want to feature headshots of people that you're having speak on your live stream or appear, you can replace the link with that image as well and make it really clean and promotional. So your live stream starting, we've gotten to that part. Now there's still a lot of things that you can do during the live stream on social media as well. So I really encourage to make it a really well-rounded effort and use tandem social media posts while it's going on. You can ask for live question submissions, have somebody monitoring that, or having some way to alert the speakers to that. Choose a hashtag, you know, pay attention to what's going on in the hashtag, tweet using the hashtag yourself. That's the next one, is live tweet key quotes and insights using it. That's something we do with all of our webinars at Traject. So if people, you know, they miss it or they miss the live streams going on, they're still they're getting the gist of it, and you're still kind of building up that excitement. And another thing you can do, this is kind of a live social media event, not exactly a live stream. It started Twitter chat. This is something that's been gaining a lot of steam. This is one of my favorites. I included SMT Live, we just did this morning. It's every Tuesday, where an account will create a hashtag for a Twitter chat, and then just ask questions and open it up to anyone in the industry who wants to give their answer. And it really promotes a lot of engagement within the responses. People talk about those strategies. So any business can do that. You just need to, you know, get the word out about the hashtag ahead of time, and make sure you have a couple people that are responding to it, maybe for the first couple sessions. You know, get an influencer or two in your pocket that say that they'll respond to your questions, and really start to build up that engagement on that hashtag for your Twitter chat. And then after the live stream is done, your work is not done, but honestly, the possibilities are completely endless with how you can use it. So I just included a list of ideas right here. You can use the audio as a podcast, you know, spread that around on Apple, Spotify, or use it for sound bites for any of your other marketing. You can transcribe them. My favorite transcription program is Otter.io. I really, every time I use it, it does a pretty good job, and I just kind of have to go through and tweak, you know, some little syntax things or maybe a couple of miswords here and there. It saves a ton of time. Upload it to YouTube. You can upload the recording natively to social media sites. So this is a good idea. We've talked a little bit about how social media algorithms favor native content that keeps people on that platform rather than linking them somewhere else. So if you have the recording as a file, and you just natively put it on your Facebook page, that will probably perform better in the feed than linking it. You can always write a recap blog and include the video. That's what we always do with these office hours in our webinars. Nuggets from the video can be quick insights or promos. They can play really well on social platforms where, you know, you need something quicker, with a little 15-second, really nice little video clip. And then everyone who signed up for a reminder, you already know they were interested in the topic and interested in your live stream, everything like that, email it out to them. The only thing I want to make sure to remind everybody is that on certain platforms like this, if you don't have your settings the correct way, it'll just kind of poof into thin air and you won't have a recording. So make sure you're kind of thinking through that plan ahead of time to either make sure you have access to it after, or you're recording your screen, or anything to save that video file. And as you're sending out, you're creating a lot of social posts for these content permutations from the original live stream. Always, again, I love to harp on using UTM tags. I rely on them so much. Don't give up free information on where these people are coming from, especially if you have clients and you're doing social media management, get your credit that they're coming from social media. And that is it for me on live events, live stream, and the social media strategy surrounding that. I'd love to hear if you guys have any questions about that. You have any questions about the product in general, and especially any questions on not getting information where we are saying that the information is supposed to be, so we can make sure we solve that problem too. So I'll open it up to you guys.
It's a great question here about ideal time. And I know that you're a huge advocate for our optimal times and the reporting that we have and how that ties into social strategy. I don't know if you want to take that one, but there's a question about what is the ideal time to share cross-platform social media alerts for a live stream?
So I don't know if you guys are gonna like this answer. The first thing that's jumping out to me there is I shy away from anything that's cross-platform, giving one ubiquitous answer, because I think you want to be as targeted as possible. And also let me know if I'm misunderstanding that part. I also would be curious to understand if this question is more about times of day, optimal times of day for engagement social posts, or if this is more about the cadence of reminding people like an hour ahead of time, the day ahead of time, that kind of thing, which are pretty much, those are two times that I would definitely recommend. Best practice that we use at Traject is we like to have at least 2-3 weeks to promote these sort of things. And then we'll put some graphics out there, put alert pages out there, and about who's joining. So just every couple days for that, but then definitely the day before, the hour before, and when you're about to kick off, I think is really helpful to people.
There's a question about AMAs. I know we spoke a lot about that during the presentation about live streaming and the strategy piece. So for someone who isn't super familiar with what an AMA is.
You know what? That is such a best practice that I ignored. I said an acronym and I didn't even say what it meant. Yeah, AMA stands for Ask Me Anything. It originated as a Reddit thing. And you can host them literally, just promote them, have some questions in the pocket so it doesn't start slow, but you can take live questions all throughout it. That's another really good lead capturing mechanism, promotion mechanism though, if you do ask for questions ahead of time, either on social media or using a landing page. You can kind of help track that and use that towards the KPIs we talked about, similarly to how you can track people who sign up for a reminder that it's happening.
We have a comment here about a potential topic for our next call or future office hours. Looks like somebody is really enjoying using the save filters function for the inbox. So I think maybe in a future call we can definitely go over the inbox and all the functionality that it has, some of the things that maybe get left behind when we're going through it a little bit too quickly. But I think that there's definitely something there to feature with giving you the option in the inbox to clear it up and prioritize the things that you want to work on. So that was great. I think Pam brought that up earlier today. So that's a great topic.
We have a question about getting customer support replies more quickly. I'm not exactly sure that Reggie or I would be able to tell you like in this exact moment what's going on there because it's not either of our teams, but I would really love to know how you are contacting them, and we'd be able to tell you if it's the best way or kind of guide you towards the right way.
So someone had a question here about Facebook for business, allowing them to turn posts into slideshow. Will this feature become available in Traject? They've gotten a lot of questions around this. So that's a great point. Yeah, so Facebook has been testing out a couple of features like that, including the new feature for businesses with turning your posts into slideshows. It's not something currently that we have in development. It is something that's on the radar. And the reason for it being is that a lot of these kind of new implementations that Facebook has been doing natively, they don't necessarily push those into the API, meaning they don't make it readily available for third-party tools like us to get a hold of. So it's kind of still in that phase where they're trying it out, want to get feedback and all. But as soon as obviously we get a lot of people like you asking questions about it, and when we realize that it is something that's super important, those are when things get added to our roadmap. So we've got a lot of really exciting things on our roadmap. I know that a lot of you were pumped when we had our Canva integration launch. I think it was almost a month now ago. So we'll definitely keep you guys updated. But for right now, I did go ahead and add your name though to the list of feature requests that we have. And CS also does a great job of making sure that that's current. So anytime you submit a support request with a feature request, our customer success team also sends those over to myself and the product team. So we'll make sure to keep you guys updated if any of those additional features that are coming in from Facebook make it into one of our final product revisions. I think somebody's having some trouble there with Google, the add the calendar button in the emails that we're sending out about the webinars. So we might want to look into that. I haven't heard of that, but it's a good point. Okay, got a question here too. How can I get an email removed from your platform? If I created a trial account and the client didn't go forward with payment, I noticed that once an email is used, it cannot be used to sign up again for a new account. Felix, to that, I would probably just say, if you head over to the support or email social@bytraject.com, that'll get you to our support team. They should be able to free up that email or work with you to get you set up on a new trial, definitely. I do believe that currently the way that it's set up, an email cannot be reused, but our support team should be able to help you to get those freed up.
Can we hop to this one that I'm seeing now about what white labeling is?
Yeah, definitely. Is there a little bit more detail in that one, or is the question just like what is white labeling in general?
What is it? Which is what
Gotcha.
I would have said before I worked at this company.
Yeah,
So that's a
that's
fair
a
question.
good point. Yeah. So with Traject Social, we give you the opportunity, and it's a super helpful feature for agencies or really anybody who's going to be providing a service to someone else, another business, another brand. And so it allows you to add some custom branding to the platform. So for instance, if you're an agency and you're adding clients to your dashboard as team members, you want them to be able to log in to look at some of the reports or maybe even approved posts. You may want to have your logo show up. You may want it to say your agency's domain.com instead of trajectsocial.com. And so for that reason, we do offer a custom branding feature on the Pro plan. So you'll be able to modify the logo that gets added to your PDF reports that you send out to your clients, and you'll also be able to customize some of the branding on the dashboard as well, whether that's for your team, for your clients, and again, that's both for resellers, for freelancers, and also for agencies as well. Hopefully that answers the question.
I'm also seeing a little bit of questioning of kind of what to do with some of this information if your clients aren't going to use Livestream. And the reason, I don't really love to usually bring in a lot of super niche stuff to these things in case they don't apply to people, and this one may seem like that at first, but really a lot of these ideas around the promotion ahead of time and kind of building up that engagement and finding those new ways to kind of get leads and track leads, and then especially the part about repurposing the content can really be so useful to any event, any webinar that your company puts on, or any sort of Twitter campaign. All of that stuff can be repurposed in those ways and can be promoted in those ways. So something kind of piqued your interest, but you don't know if it's even relevant to what your client would do. You want to come back to the recap. I think a lot of those ideas are pretty flexible in kind of building out your content plan past social media.
So we have a follow-up here about white label and how long will it take to set up a white label account? And that's a great question. I think a lot of the timeline really kind of lies on your expertise with things like domain, right? If you're looking for just some basic branding, you just want to have a PDF report that has your logo, you can get that done in a matter of seconds. If you go to your My Account area under white label, you can just upload your logo, and that way any PDF reports that you want to export or email out to clients will have your logo on it. Now, if you want to go a little bit further than that, you want to have a different domain, so it doesn't say trajectsocial.com, you have a new URL to send to your clients or your team to log in, then it's going to require a little bit of work on your end to go into wherever you've registered your domain, places like GoDaddy, Namecheap, and you're going to need to follow some of the instructions that we have on our support center on how to point that domain over to us. And then again, in your white label settings, there's some action that you need to take there. So I think in all, shouldn't take longer than maybe about an hour or two, but our support team is here to help as well. So, and I mentioned earlier, you can get in touch with them. It's either you can either email them at social@bytraject.com or the little question mark icon top right hand corner of your dashboard. That's going to take you to our support center, and you can submit a support request from there as well.
I'd also love to hear from you guys requests or ideas you have around either social media marketing strategy or strategy to kind of up the game on the tool for next step. Well.
There's a question here about what to do when you run out of profiles, right? You're on a specific plan, you've already used up all the allotted social profiles that you can connect on your current plan. Can you add more profiles? And you definitely can. So you've got a couple of options when we're talking about, you know, the profile allotment or the user allotment. If you're on either the standard or on the advanced plan, you can definitely upgrade to the next tier. If you're on that pro plan and you're looking to get more profiles as well, you can reach out to our sales team, either reach out to Gavin. I think he might be on the call here as well. And he'll be able to help you out. We'll discuss the pricing with you for those add-ons, and we can definitely make sure that you're set to have the quantity of profiles that you need.
Increasing followers. This is a can of worms, but I can go through a couple. And sorry, to more effectively reiterate the question, because I got excited. The question was just any tips on increasing followers. So one thing I'm really bullish on lately is just piggybacking off of accounts that have a lot more clout than you. So that's going to be, you know, authorities in your industry, publishing companies in your industry. So for, you know, me, I would pick social media today. All social media marketing people follow them. You know, pick influencers in your industry and try to, when they tweet or when they put out content, or, you know, they post something on whatever, try to quickly respond with something insightful, like, oh, you know, we use that here and it works really well, or I love the part about whatever. And if you're that first reply, all of their followers will see you. If they kind of go back and forth with you, all of them will see you. A lot of them do their own Twitter chats that you can jump in on and tag them when you're speaking to them. Every time they have a speaking engagement or have a webinar, you can use their hashtag and kind of be responding. And that's a really easy way to just be exposed to their tons and tons of followers. So that's something I've been trying to use a lot more lately. Another good way is finding ways to repurpose content that can live natively in social posts, and that's just going to expand your organic reach. So I kind of briefly just glossed over this earlier, but you know, things like Facebook, Twitter, they're a business. The more time people spend on their platform, the more money they get. So they're going to put things at the top of the newsfeed that keep people on Facebook, on Twitter, not link them away. So if you can find ways to, you know, content you would normally link away to make it live right in that post, you're going to be to a lot more people. And you're probably also going to be more shareable, which will expand it even further and, you know, get followers that hadn't previously been seeing your content kind of interested in that stuff. What are my thoughts on using hashtags on LinkedIn and Facebook? On LinkedIn, I'm very into it because LinkedIn is kind of unique in the sense that people can follow hashtags in the same way that they follow accounts. And so then no matter who posts it, you're going to show up in people who are a really pretty well-targeted list that are interested in that topic. So, you know, I follow ones that are like women in marketing, you know, content marketing, all that kind of stuff that'll give me stuff that I'm interested in. So very into it on LinkedIn because you don't really need people to be actively looking for that hashtag in that moment, like you sometimes would need to on Twitter. People can really be passive followers of it, and it's a good targeted list. Facebook, there isn't a ton out there that says that it's super helpful. And I think also, sometimes it can be easier to just be repurposing the same things that you put on other social media profiles. I don't super recommend that, but I get how sometimes that happens. So you may end up with Facebook hashtags in there, and it's definitely not going to hurt you. I just have never really seen where it's been super useful. As far as having too many hashtags, I think that that's definitely harmful when you have them in the body of your post, and it distracts and kind of impedes people reading. Especially on LinkedIn, where you pretty much have unlimited room. What I usually do is just way at the bottom, we'll just have a group of them. That's all the relevant topics. Just don't get pushed into the trap of a spray and pray and put things that aren't super targeted. Because I know that can get, when people start seeing things in their feed as they're passively following those hashtags that aren't relevant, they don't like that, and they may mute your account from showing up there again. But I think if you put them at the bottom, you can pretty much put as many as you want. It doesn't get in the way of reading. I'm gonna pop back up to this question on increasing followers. Another thing that a lot of research is starting to come out about is how much more often images are shared. So we had a pretty thorough office hours on this last month. Not sure if everyone was there or not, but if you're not, it's on YouTube. And it was about using images in social media. And it's just insane how exponentially more likely people are likely to share your image to other people than a text post, especially other people that don't already follow you. So there's a lot of good ideas in there, how you can create images really easily in Canva, how you could take kind of boring text articles or industry articles and make a cool infographic out of it instead, do that sort of thing. Then you're really likely to be shared to people who probably don't already follow you. Yeah, I'm going to do a last call for a moment here on any more questions you guys think you have about anything that we had talked about, or anything about social media marketing or the Traject social tool in general.
Looks like we have some international users here. This is awesome. This is exciting. Traject social office hours international.
Exactly. Goes global.
Awesome. Yeah, there's some really, really good questions. I'm really looking forward to next month's call. I do get some more updates on the product, things that we've got churning, and hopefully we'll have some news for you guys next month on some of the updates that we've got with just overall UI, some improvements that we really want to tackle. And I hope by next month on that call, I'll be able to give you guys an update on our Canva integration for white labelers as well. So thank you guys for joining. I'll probably stick around for a couple more minutes if there's any additional questions, but really appreciate all the engagement here.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right. I think those are all the questions. They definitely slow down a little bit here towards the end. So it looks like we've got most of the people jumping out here. Thanks again, guys, for joining in. It's awesome. We love having this engagement and just being able to go back and forth with you guys with questions and just insights on what you guys are looking for. So we're super excited. We love this time. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys next month on the next call.
Yep, exactly. We'll see you guys in September. Thanks, everybody.